What is happening? Welcome to my channel. My name is Matt Bradford. Today we are going to talk about learning by ear. Some disclaimer stuff first. You may notice that this is a lap steel. It doesn't matter what you're playing. If you're holding a guitar or a saxophone or a sousaphone, it doesn't matter. We're talking about learning by ear, playing music. What we're going to talk about today applies to everyone. So, the very first thing I would say, let me get some stuff out of the way first. Let me talk about some general ideas, the way this video is going to work, and then we're going to get into it. I'm going to use tracks today from my Patreon account. There are two reasons for this. Well, three, because I want you to subscribe to Patreon. But also, the real two reasons are, number one, I'm not going to get a copyright strike, right, if I have tracks that I wrote that are not published. And then number two is that the tracks that I write are relatively simple. So it's easy to hear the changes. And what I want to work on today is learning the changes. So I can hear the chords. There's no leads in the way. There's no vocal in the way. We can hear what's happening. Okay? So there's a link to my Patreon account down below if you want easy access to easy tracks that are, there they are. Okay. So that's out of the way. Now, the way that I learn by ear is not with the tracks that I wrote, obviously, but I like to, and you can do this too, and this is going to work for this as well. I like to just fire up a playlist from Spotify. It used to be Pandora once upon a time, although if you think Spotify screws musicians over, Pandora is crushing us. And before that, obviously, it was CDs, right? So whatever it is, picking songs that I like and then just trying to learn them by ear. And if I get stuck, I can move on pretty quick, especially with the newer streaming stuff. But I would say the two things I would encourage you to do is find stuff that's simple, and then if you're getting stuck, move on. All of this stuff gets easier. The more you do it, the more you start to hear it. The more you hear it, the more it's easy to do. It's like, oh, a lot of songs at this point I can figure out without picking up an instrument at all, which is pretty cool. So, okay. The first thing I do when I am looking to learn a track is I listen for the root. It's not always the first chord. I listen for the root, and then I try to sing it. And when I say it's not always the first chord, one of the things that happens is if you have like the root here is that chord, which is the second chord. So I want to listen for where does it feel, right? I don't want to stop there. That feels like it wants to go somewhere. So I'm really looking to intuit that stuff. If you're not hearing that yet, if you're not feeling that it wants to end there, right? If you're not feeling that it wants to end there, that's okay. We're going to get there. It's going to start to make more sense. But the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to listen to a track, and I'm going to try to sing the root. So I'm going to listen. I might try to sing the root of each chord, but okay, now, I wrote it, happens to be in D. We were already playing in D, but so that's a D. If you can see the way I was singing it first, though, it makes sense. If you're singing it and you go, okay, it's hard to find the note, you just got to ask yourself, is the note that I'm playing higher or lower than the note I'm singing? Okay, that's the note, but if I play that's high, right? That's too high. I can keep walking my way down, or vice versa. Okay, I know that's way too low. Still too low. That's still too low. Ooh, it's getting close. Right, so I'm singing it a little sharp. Yeah, I'm singing it a little sharp, and that's fine, because that's what I do. I sing sharp. So, that's the way I'm going to figure it out. Right? And then I want to find the second chord. Now, the more I get used to hearing this move, I know that's a 1 chord to a 4 chord. But again, I'm just singing the notes of the root. That's the first thing I'm going to do. Now, let's say we've got that. Let's say we've got all of our roots. Right? I'm a good singer. You can tell. You don't have to be a good singer to do this. Just find the note, sing it. It's going to get easier to sing as you get better at doing this too. If you want to work on your singing. But I'm clearly not a singer. When I have tracks that I sing on, which I do, I practice quite a bit. So we've got our root notes. Now the next question is it major or minor? Well, that's a simple thing. If you've been following along at all, the only thing that determines whether something is major or minor is the third. Is it going to be this note or that note? That's it. That's the only difference. That's the D major, right? And again, if you're like, well, what notes are he playing? Use your ear. Here's the major third. Here's the minor third. Okay? So if I play here and I listen to this track, right? Or I try it lower, try the minor. Ooh, that one's not right. It's clearly major, right? If I try to play minor, it hurts. It hurts to play those. So I know that this track is in D and it's playing major chords. Let's go to another track. Okay, so right away, we should play the other notes, but you should listen to the whole thing. But what key is that in? Wait, that wasn't the right note. Oh, that's the wrong button. Okay, so we're still in D. Still in D. You can kind of hear that. You can hear that it's the same chord, right? Even though it's different. Right? Let's see about this one. This one's probably in D also. Okay. So we're starting to hear the stuff. Okay? I go to this one. I want to hear the chord change. Now again. Now this is a really common chord change, and we've heard it all over the place. So I want to sing those root notes. I want to listen to the bass, right? Because that piano is playing something else. The piano is playing something very pretty, if you ask me. No, that's the wrong button. But check it out. We're listening for the bass notes. Right? We don't want to get distracted by the piano. I want to hear the bass. Because if I start getting distracted by the piano, I'm going to be hearing... Which is nice and pretty. It's not the right chords, right? We're going to get there. So we know We know the bass notes. When we listen to the bass, right? We're listening. And it's the same the whole time through. I'm starting to find my bass notes, right? Now, I'm hearing these other notes. Well, those other notes are going to help define what scale am I playing. In this case, it happens to be a major scale. I happen to find that it was that. Right, that happened to be the piano part. Higher up, I think. Right, but those notes, if I can find those two, I can sing them, same thing, and I can start to find them. Now, the more that I do this, I know it seems automatic, and I wrote that track on 420. I don't do that anymore, but if you do, congratulations. So it's not like just built in like what those notes were, but again, this is a very common chord progression. B, it's I wrote it, so it's going to be coming natural from me for the most part, and then C, I'm used to hearing this stuff. If it's hard to find those melodies, well, if you keep doing it and you keep singing it and playing it, you're going to start to get more and more dialed in with what's happening on the fingerboard or fretboard. You're going to start being able to marry your ear and your hands more and more because you're practicing. If you hear noise in the background, it's because my cat is climbing the ISO booth. Oh my God. All right. So, okay. So let's go to the next track. Now, okay. Still in D. Okay. Obviously, that is a bluesy sounding track. On my page, usually on Tuesdays, there is a blues track. The 12-bar blues, if you aren't familiar with it, you can do whatever you want. You could watch my video on the 12-bar blues or one of the many videos I've done, I think, on blues thus far. But the 12-bar blues hopefully is seared into your brain. You can hear those moves. You can hear those changes because that's what that is. This is a simple, we're in boom. Right? I'm starting to hear the camera's starting to overheat. We'll see how long this goes. Where are we? Okay, 15 minutes, all right. 14 minutes, all right. It's gonna be a long one, folks. No, it won't. We're gonna just keep going though. So look, we're so far we've been in D, but we're hearing this stuff, and again, the last track, all of these tracks, these have been really common chord progressions because when we're using major or blues or minor chord progressions, they are for the most part very common, and so being able to hear them and being able to hear them quickly means you're gonna be able to learn a lot of songs quickly. When you think of like I think of that as Sweet Child of Mine, but like I think of it that way, right? Whoa, sweet child of mine. Whoa, sweet child of mine. Whoa, sweet child of mine. That fourth chord doesn't sound right. I don't know. That's I think may have something wrong in there. I have to go back and listen to the song. But I think of that as Sweet Child of Mine. I could be wrong. I hear certain chords and I think of certain things. When I hear a 12-bar blues, I know exactly what it is. When I hear that 1-5-6-4, I know what it is. When I hear a 1-4-1-5, it's one of the most common country progressions, right? You're going to start to develop the sound of these progressions, and then on top of that, you're going to start to know when you hear this, I've heard all of that, I'm going to start to know what that chord is as I just listen to the song, because I've developed it where I know, oh, that's that chord in that idea. I'm going to stop the camera here. And then we're gonna get back into it as soon as the camera cools down, which for you will be no seconds. Okay, we're back. Man, I had to comb my beard. I didn't realize how out of control. You guys didn't tell me how out of control my beard was. So anyway, we talked about blues. We've talked about major. I mean, look, this is basically the technique, and I don't know how long we need to drag it out. I'm singing the roots, and then once I have the roots, I can start to figure out like what's happening, and I can try to play notes over it, and it's like, oh, this is major, this is clearly a minor, this is, if I'm playing okay, we're still in D, right? And again, if you download the backing track, it's going to tell you what key we're in, so I can start to figure out what's the next chords. And then I obviously want to start playing along. But like I'm starting to figure out like, okay, what's happening on these chords, and I'm hearing, again, we just did this with the blues. You're hearing it, it's the same, it's a 1 and a 4. Right? That's that one chord. Okay, now the one thing you're hearing on that track that's it's kind of a minor song, right? It seems minor, and then the 5 chord goes to dominant. This is a really common thing that I do, but you're going to hear it a lot. Where it's called harmonic minor, and okay, I'm going to get into all that. But basically, understand that this track gives you a sound of a minor song with a dominant 5. That's what it sounds like. Okay, so again, that's a trickier one, and that's why I'm pointing it out as I'm listening to it. It's like, oh, okay, look, that's not actually all in one key, and I think we've talked about it a little bit in certain videos, but I'll talk about it some more if that's something that you want to learn more of. But hearing that one note is different, right? I'm playing all of this minor stuff, and then that 5 chord comes around and it has that ba ba. That's not the ba, that's the ba 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 ba. Again, singing the notes I'm hearing. I think that's the takeaway. I mean, really, at the end of the day, I'm singing what I'm hearing, and then I'm trying to find it, and that's going to help me with a lot of stuff. And then the more I do it, the easier it gets and the more common it gets. And so if you've never learned stuff by ear and you're trying to learn by ear, the first thing to do is just sing the freaking notes. Sing the roots. find them. Try to learn what's happening. Listen to the bass, because the other stuff can be confusing. Try to determine where are my bass notes, and then how do I learn those. And you know, also in D. Okay, ba ba. Okay, what are those notes? Ba ba. Nope. Ba ba. Right? Finding those notes. Ba ba. Ba ba. There they are. I'm not in tune. Ba ba. Right? Fine. I'm just singing the note, and then it's easy to find. And the first time I missed it, I didn't know what it was. I was like, nope, it's not that. That's a common move I'll do, but also, and you're gonna hear it all the time. That's the same as that. That's that Sweet Child of Mine thing that I was thinking of. Let's try one more, just because. Why not, right? Okay, so immediately. Ba. It's a different note than ba. It's not that. Ba. 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 Right? I'm hearing that. Ba. 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 Okay. Ba. 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 All right. Clearly, I have done this a lot. Ba, ba. Okay, that's the same progression as before in a different key. Now we're in the key of G. Right? But you can see, it's all the same thing. I'm singing it, and then I'm playing it. And that's it. That's all we're doing. Sing it and play it. I hope this gets you on the path to using your ear. If this is what you like, drop it in the comments. I can do more stuff. If you got feedback for me, drop it in the comments. I'll do more stuff. Regardless of what's happening, drop it in the comments, because it makes the algorithm think I'm cool, and then that'll get me to more people and allow me to do more stuff. Thanks for hanging. That's not the right chord. Ha ha! Oh!